Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Monterey Bay Aquarium live here on Twitch and YouTube. My name is Emily. I am part of the social media team here at the Monterey Bay Aquarium. Hey, good afternoon, everyone. How are all of you? How's it going? I hope you liked our fancy new stream starting soon screen. we got a chance to test it out today. And I say we because, of course, I am never alone. I am joined, as always, by my good friend, my buddy, my coworker, my pal, our terrible boy, Patrick. Patrick, how's it going?
Hey everybody, I'm back from the mountains.
He's back.
Your terrible boy is here to help disrupt all of the good work that Emily has put into these live streams. I'm glad to be back as an agent of chaos. Thanks so much for being there, everybody. This is really exciting. Yeah, really cool little. We're getting better at this every time, Emily. A little bit
I feel like I'm getting worse at this every time, but thank you.
No, I mean we find new ways of breaking the audio and the video every time.
Oh, every time.
That's just part of streaming. So hey everybody, thank you so much for being there. Thank you so much for joining us. We got so many folks tuning in over on YouTube, so many folks tuning in over on Twitch. And Emily, we can see already from this particular screen here that we are in. We have advanced through ABZÜ now into this new coral room here.
I feel like we did such a good job last time at getting this far in the game for us.
Emily, I kind of wanted to ask the chat and everything. So, for those of you who watched the first episode, we really nerded out really hard on the kelp. So definitely check out episode 1, which is available on VOD here on Twitch and over on YouTube. But Emily, I know I saw that we were informed that we missed the basking shark in the open
I saw
water
that
part.
And I don't know if we can go back. So,
right.
So that means that we have to start over, don't we?
So my question to you and to the chat was, maybe we could start a new game and just kind of proceed a little bit quicker, but mainly we should go see the basking shark and then move forward to the game and then just kind of breeze through. I'm not sure if that is of interest to the viewers, but certainly I would like to see a basking shark because they are the second largest fish in the whole ocean, and they are sometimes found out here in the Monterey Bay. So we might need to start over and go find the basking shark. Emily, I don't know how you feel about that. How do you feel?
I mean, I'm a little sad because we did so many things last time. We'll have to unlock all of the secret portal things again too.
Yes, but I think now that we know how to do it, we can do it quicker.
Okay.
Right?
So
we'll
really,
try to learn a little bit
I see
from,
Muffins in the chat right now. So really, Muffins, we're just training for a future speed run ourselves.
Oh.
Right.
Wait, hold on. Someone is mentioning over on YouTube, Emily, that the basking shark is later on, apparently.
Oh, the basking shark is later on. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I feel better. I feel better about this.
All right. Well, maybe we'll just start where we happen to be here. I would call this the OK coral. Then, if we're good to start right here, that would be the first pun there on the stream. I don't know if you reset that.
I sure did. That is the one thing that I remembered to do today. Not the one thing there. I got distracted by doing other things today, and then, of course, coming into this feeling so confident. 5 minutes before the stream, we couldn't figure out why I couldn't hear Pat, and it turns out that if you have mute pressed on your PC, sound doesn't come through. So. That was fun.
So thank you, by the way, everybody, for tuning in for yet another episode of Marine Biologists Fumble Their Way Through live streaming from their living rooms in the middle of a global pandemic. I think we're doing okay, Emily. So remember to be kind to yourself as you tell everybody else during these streams. But
that applies to everyone else. I am very good at giving advice, not taking my own, Pat.
Yes,
that is not part of the.
I don't know. We've definitely got a beautiful loading screen here, and looking beyond in the background there, it seems like the pinnacle of our gaming is on its way. I'm bending over backwards, like I'm arching my back, just like that arch there in front of us, trying to get some of these puns here
that was a bit of a
into
stretch.
the count. I've been away. People expect certain things. I do notice that we just lost 17 whole viewers on Twitch here within the last couple of minutes.
Oh, no.
Maybe we need to get started here and move right along. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. It's very exciting, and we're just going to do another extremely slow playthrough. Emily is the one playing. I'm just the one spectating, so
yes.
I'll be right there along with you all.
We also figured out how Pat can see the stream in on a much shorter delay for ourselves too. So
yes.
So hopefully we'll be able to have not such a delayed reaction to what we're seeing, or
delayed,
when
it's
you
delayed gratification. And if we were in Australia, would that be Adelaide gratification? Anyway, the reason I mentioned Australia is that this looks to be some subtropical waters, and we've gone past some kelp. So if we were to be positioning, do we have a little Vaquita? Oh, there you go, Emily.
Well, that's what you said Australia, but the Vaquita, and we did just see a tiny little Vaquita. We're also hearing a tiny little trooper too, who decided that now is the perfect moment to join our game.
Yeah, Trooper is doing
today.
her best of really correcting me and me mentioning. I think I just tried the pun a little bit too hard and got my geography mixed up. Yes, remembering back to where we are, based off of everything, we are certainly in the Sea of Cortez or somewhere off of Mexico, but Sea of Cortez very certainly with the presence of the vaquitas that we have here, and in particular, the northernmost coral reef in the Sea of Cortez is right at Cabo Pulmo, which is a place that I've gone diving a whole lot. And you can see there below you, Emily, on the lower left, we've got our garden eels. I've seen those in the Sea of Cortez. And it looks like we've got our vaquita. No, are those the dolphins? Those are the dolphins.
No, those ones. Yeah, those ones were the common dolphins over there. Sorry, I popped away for a second to hopefully
to let Trooper know that she's doing great. Yeah,
Trooper's doing a good job. Yeah.
So this right here would be, a mixture of lots of different habitats, but certainly we are currently in a subtropical to tropical environment. You can see all the coral there, huge coral there on your left, Emily. Big sponge that you just swam past right there as well. This is where our vaquita came from, I believe, right?
I believe so, because this was the very last thing that we did on the last.
Emily, do you want to let the folks know what's going on with the vaquita?
Yeah, I was trying to see if I could swim around and find it once again, but just like vaquitas in real life, they are being very mysterious right now and hard to find. So vaquitas are the smallest porpoise in the world, and also the most endangered in the world as well. I believe at the last estimate, their population was fewer than 20 left in the wild, which is
and
a pretty staggering number.
Lofia's dragon over there on Twitch, Vaquita, not fajita. No, certainly we are in the sea, but no seasoning there involved with the vaquita. The vaquita is a very tiny porpoise. It's the smallest of the porpoises and dolphins, like you were mentioning there. There it is on the left there, right? Oh, to the right a little bit more. Right. There seemed to be one swimming away from us there. But yes, it's the most critically endangered vaquita there.
Well, I know. I'm trying.
No, I know. You got it.
Oh, there.
Nice. So the vaquita is found in the northern part of the Sea of Cortez, and also known as the Gulf of California. Excuse me. And the reason for the issues facing the vaquita are many, but some of you may know that the Colorado River normally would have created a huge delta at the northern terminus there of the Gulf of California, and that has not been the case in a very long time. The Colorado River kind of dries up in the desert. There was a documentary that came out about traveling from the end of the Colorado River all the way to the Gulf of California. And it was about 90 miles in that documentary many years ago that the Colorado River ends before it makes its way into what used to be a gorgeous estuary, which really helped feed a lot of organisms over there, including the Vaquita. And so there's been a lot of environmental degradation over there. And the reason that the Colorado River doesn't make its way to the ocean anymore is largely due to consumption of that water in the United States, like by the city of Los Angeles and that whole area there. The Vaquita are also being caught in a fishery, a totoaba fishery, whereas bycatch. So you may have heard bycatch, a term related to if they're, and by the way, Emily, you're doing a fantastic job following the Vaquita with porpoise there. But the totoaba fishery is responsible for some bycatch of this particular species. And so there's a lot of socioeconomic, a lot of political reasons behind why the Vaquita is struggling. And so look it up. It's hugely complex. It's certainly not a very uplifting topic of conversation necessarily for this gaming stream. But if you are interested in, learning about international policy, subsistence fishing, and all the different pressures that happen because of the linkages between countries and use of resources and those battles, you'll learn a whole lot studying the Vaquita. So I'm glad to see it here in the game, but unfortunately, like you're mentioning, Emily, maybe more Vaquita in this game than even out there in the wild at the moment.
I mean,
anyway, something to look up there.
We've spotted at least 2 in the game so far, which for anyone studying Vaquita, this would be an absolute miracle of a day.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Sorry,
Exactly.
Absolutely. Very quickly, Emily, in the chat, your boy Splendence is letting us know that today is their birthday. So happy birthday, your boy Splendence. Thanks so much for being part of the stream. Happy birthday.
Birthday month, buddy. Good.
Another lap around the sunfish. You did it. Nicely done.
Yeah, Pat, I don't know if you know this about me, but I actually used to work, I volunteered with an organization down in Mexico, and this, but part of what we did down there was work with shrimp fishermen. To implement safer nets for them to use because it was in the northern Gulf of California in the same habitat that the Vaquita lived in. And I had the unfortunate experience of actually seeing Vaquita that were caught in both shrimp nets and also illegal totoaba nets that were out there. So we would go and we'd visit classrooms and talk to kids about Vaquitas, and we would talk to families who have been fishing there for hundreds of years, and try and figure out ways that they could maintain their fishing lifestyle and maintain the work that they did down there. But these were people who so desperately loved the environment that they lived in, this incredibly rich world of the Gulf of California, and they wanted to protect it, but they just didn't have the tools to be able to do that. And so that was part of my work down there, was actually working with those families to get them the tools that they needed to keep on fishing, but also to help protect the Vaquita and hopefully never have to see another Vaquita caught in a net ever again, which was an incredibly sad day for a marine biologist trying to save these animals.
Yeah, it's certainly it's one of those things, often the way we learn about those conservation stories is we think that for some reason the folks that live there or that are around these issues are potentially uncaring, but that is often the furthest thing from the truth. As we all know, there are a lot of external pressures that go into how we make our own living. So anyway, I didn't realize that, Emily. So Let's get some GGs for Emily there in the chat
No,
for
I
helping
don't
out with the
need
Vaquita.
GGs,
And also some
GGs to
GGs
the
for
people.
ABZû for including them here in the game. We did want to mention that one of the game developers was talking to us the last time we were streaming ABZû. And just wanted to give yet another huge shout out to all of the game designers, developers, everybody who worked on this game, the researchers, because what an absolutely gorgeous game as you just careen through.
I know. I was doing some illegal swimming there.
Maybe 1,000-year-old base sponges with no damage. I think very, very good to not include fall damage or swim damage, as it were. They're swimming through. But yeah, what a gorgeous game.
It really is. And all those GGs that were in the chat.
I'm being told
there
by Raptorvore that's not when you use GG. It is on our stream here. Good game, Emily. Great job. Taking care of the Vaquita is what I mean over there. I will not be policed.
And I would like to take those GGs and instead give them to the fishermen and the community down in.
There you go. Well, nice passing that right along.
In the Gulf of Cortez, or the Gulf of Cortez. The Sea of Cortez, the Gulf of California. There you go.
Yes.
Because they're the ones who are doing the harder work.
Yeah, and Gulf of California, more of the preferred term, than Sea of Cortez being. Being the colonizer name I learned while I was over there. So anyway, Gulf of California. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.
Let's move along to maybe some more uplifting things. Thank you, everybody in the chat.
So coral bleaching next. That's
let's talk about. No, let's not.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Did we talk about these buddies last time?
I believe we did. Yeah, I believe we.
That's right.
We talked a little bit about the tube worms.
Yeah, I
there.
remember making that noise.
You're looking at the tentacles and kind of the gill crown feeding face of those tube worms. There, we have lots of different tube worms in our area. We talked about these garden eels. We also talked about the ribbon eels and gave folks some homework to do to look up ribbon eels swimming because they're absolutely gorgeous,
so
absolutely gorgeous swimming around. And yeah, I mean, just what an absolutely great, beautiful visual. And especially I just love the sort of pastel colors, the coral as it were. But yeah, those are all a whole bunch of worms right there that you're hanging out next to. If anyone out there is a little bit squeamish about worms, they are everywhere in the ocean. I don't believe, are they meant to be tube anemones? Oh, they look more like worms to me.
Just very large worms.
Yeah, they look a little bit more like worms and behave more like tube worms. I think they're more like the cocoa, or what are they? I believe we have some we have had some at the aquarium. The fact that it looks like there's a couple of different rows of the tentacles and separate crowns, and they retract that quickly. That makes me think that they are going to be worms. There are tube anemones that look very, very similar, but those look more like the worms to me. Well, in any case, I don't know, Emily. We got to recover emotionally from starting off just talking about the Vaquita and the plight thereof right off the bat.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe we need to go find some other organisms that we can increase the biodiversity of our zone with. I know that there might be some around there. By the way, so corals, what you're looking at right here, those look very similar to corals that you find in the Gulf of California. A lot of these corals there, you can see the colors that they have. They've got the sort of greenish brown color. Again, those corals get a vast majority of their food from photosynthesis, thanks to symbiotic algae that live inside of them, known as zooxanthellae, which are a type of dinoflagellate. And you'll find those also in the giant clams that we saw previously in ABZû. And you can see the corals there, that beautiful color. Good job hovering there above it, Emily. Those corals there feeding themselves from the sun.
I was demonstrating bad diving technique there before swimming through the corals and the sponges. So instead, had to do the nice little hover here, the proper way to observe while diving.
That's awesome. And just for the folks there in the chat, yeah, no need to let us know what is ahead or what is behind. We're going to take it very, very slow. So yeah, just to help the mods there that might be watching, no need to give us tips. We'll ask for tips if we need them, but otherwise, I appreciate the patience with the frustration that you're probably experiencing as we make no forward progress here in in the game yet. We'll get there. We'll get there for sure. Awesome. Yeah. No worries, Aiden. No worries. Sweet. Well, so Emily, where do we if we swim around here, there might be a couple more portals.
Yes, we're gonna look for more little portals.
Okay. Hang out
and then
with some of our garden eels.
Garden eel buddies.
That's where we discovered our worms the last time. I'm remembering now.
Yeah. We meditated on our shark last time.
We did.
Because that's where we found ribbon eels. It's been a couple of weeks. We have to reacquaint ourselves with this again. All right. There we go. Let's see what's in this one. Sharks.
Who'd we get?
Gray reef sharks.
Gray reef sharks. Oh, that's super cool. Well, and for those of you who are interested in maybe more info about sharks, we did a really fun stream yesterday that you may have gotten to see with some really awesome shark scientists from Minorities in Shark Science. Jada Elcock and Amani Weber-Schultz joined us yesterday. So if you didn't get to see that, we did some shark watching with our cams at the aquarium, on our open sea cam and on the Monterey Bay cam. So certainly, Emily, what we learned from them is that you need more sharks around. So it's really good that we opened up that portal there for the gray reef sharks, because the more sharks around, the better. It seems like maybe the dolphins are harassing the sharks a little bit. It seemed like over there. But yeah, the more sharks, the merrier. And in fact, there should be far, far, far more sharks in the ocean than there currently are. So if you ever hear of an area that is lacking in sharks, that is not actually the best ocean to interact with. The more sharks, the better everything is going to be in the ocean. As top predators, they help not only mediate the number of prey species, they help keep everything in balance and a lot healthier. So if you see a healthy ocean environment, there's going to be a shark in there. They've been around for a very long time, very successful. Yeah, it would be a very sad place if there were no shark. And I love that you're doing such a good job of following after the gray reef shark there. This is pretty much a similar experience that I had, Emily, trying to chase after a leopard shark the first time I saw one in the wild. I was over at Point Lobos diving, and I saw the leopard shark, and it saw me, and it did 2 fin kicks and swam away from me incredibly slowly and far faster than I ever could have swam. And I was basically out of breath trying to get my GoPro close enough to film it. So sharks are incredibly efficient swimmers, as we can see here. You're kicking very hard, Emily, and the shark is
very hard.
Pretty much just cruising along. That is very realistic to real life.
Very realistic.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, that, I should say, getting the gray reef sharks is jawsome, very fin-teresting. Whoa, what was that? Oh, those are a whole bunch of anemones. Okay. The resolution on the screen had gone away. Well, I like, Emily, that you're keeping your friends close here on stream and your anemones even closer. Emily, are you there?
Silence on my end.
Well, the anemone of my anemone is my clone for the anemones that do reproduce asexually. It would appear here that if these were anemones in the wild, you wouldn't quite have the same. These would likely be aggregating anemones that we had in our area.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to do too many things at once here.
I'm I'm concerned, Emily, that you're so quiet over there. I hope everything's going okay on the technology side.
Fine.
Everything good?
Everything's good over here.
Okay.
Trying to catch up with the chat on my end too. All right, there we go.
Okay. Well, in any case, from your polyps to our ears here, Emily, you want to tell us a little bit about these anemones here in front of us? Or?
Sure. Sure, I should say. I got to get some puns in here, too, of course. So we're hanging out with some anemones right now. Anemones are the Cnidarian. Wow. My brain is just like defaulting to teacher Emily mode right now. No. This is so different from the last game stream that we did with Rachel and I, where I was just panicking the entire time trying to figure out how to play the game and talk at the same time. So Pat, I'm very excited that you're back with me today.
Okay.
Rachel and I had a delight of a time talking about cephalopods and Octodad, but this is such a different vibe to a game that I'm just like, oh, this is so peaceful. I can just swim around. But these anemones that we are looking at here, Cnidarians, so Cnidarians are going to be a lot of very familiar animals to many people, but maybe some that you wouldn't necessarily put together in the same group right away when you think about them. So Cnidarians being animals like these sea anemones, but also jellyfish. So sea anemones are basically jellyfish that never grew up. They stayed at this polyp stage in their life right here. Well, if this was a jellyfish, it would continue to clone itself, bud off, and then transition to become a medusa and float away in the water. So these are animals with some of those same structures that jellies have as well. They have those stinging cells in them, those cnidocytes that they have there, and nematocysts to sting their prey. But yeah, so sea anemones, just jellyfish that never grew up. Maybe we should call them. These are all Peter Pan here.
Yeah. Hopefully not in a battle with their own shadows. Although based off what you were saying of them reproducing with buds, maybe they are buddy with.
That was a good one.
That. Was that good?
That was
I tried.
A good one. Yeah.
And not every anemone reproduces asexually. For you folks out there who might be wondering, some of them do have young ones that reproduce sexually. So not every anemone is like that. And we also have someone mentioning that maybe this whole huge rock is actually one huge coral, and these are all individual polyps of a coral, which is rather terrifying based off of the scale of that there for you, Emily. So don't get sucked up by all the anemones there. They're very bashful. They certainly.
Only some of them are.
Yeah. And one thing I did want to mention, I would be remiss if I didn't bring this up, but when you're looking at a polyp here of an anemone, you've got the opening there, which is at once the mouth and the rear end of the anemone. They have what's known as a gastrovascular cavity. So what goes in one way comes out the same way. So they could just be pulling in their tentacles right now because they know that this is a kid's stream, and they're, anemones are known to have potty mouths. So they're trying to hold back expletives, as it were. Did that work?
That worked.
I thought that worked generally as
I think it worked better than the cephalopody mouth pun that we tried before. I think this one was this one was more natural there. I thought of some terrible jokes right there, but we're not going to say them on stream. This is over there on on Twitch, I saw a few moments ago, Luffy's Dragon, do we know about the sea life Pokemon? Yeah, definitely, dolphinately, I should say. That is actually a game that we have approved to play, but we have not purchased any of the Pokemon games, but hopefully one day we'll do a playthrough and talk about some of the aquatic animals in there, a Pokemon in there, and Positronic. Yeah, you did recall correctly. I am a Pokemon fan in real life. As of late, I have. Do we really want to get nerdy here?
I mean, I don't know. You do have a degree in evolution, and that's pretty much what Pokemon is all about. So.
It's true. Maybe that's why I became an evolutionary biologist, because I played Pokemon as a kid and was just like,
but just
I'm
Emily,
so sure about this.
Emily, if you're going to be bringing up any, Pokemon anecdotes here in the middle of all of this, I'm going to have to make sure to turn up my volume here because I want to make sure that I catch them all.
Oh, that was a good one too.
Oh, thank
you. You can add that one to your pun. I was gonna try and make a.
And to anyone who's expecting us to play ABZÜ, at some point we will.
Yeah, at some point we will. Here, I swim every now and then just so the screen doesn't go to sleep.
Yeah, just so the controller doesn't go to sleep. I'm on to us. I know how we play this.
I was trying to figure out a pun on Pokédex and your puns, but I don't think it's gonna happen. But
you would just have to increase your own Pokédexterity in punnery.
That was pretty good.
To bring up.
That was okay. Yeah, that was okay.
More of them. Was that okay?
That was okay.
Okay.
I'll give you partial credit for that one.
Well, because I mean, if you're getting a raw deal with the Pokemon. The Pokemon puns, it's because you're thinking more of Pokemon puns, right?
That was. I'll give you partial credit for that one.
Partial credit for that one as well.
Together,
Okay,
the two
I'll
partial credits will make a full credit from the professor over here.
Partial credit. Ooh, Shoal Sentinel coming in hot on the puns there. Nicely done. Partial credit. We're gonna use that.
No, the one thing that I was going to say about Pokemon before, just to really let my nerd flag fly high and fly far. Oh no, won't let me go in there.
We can't go down into there yet.
We can't go down into there yet. Was just that there is. I know that there are a couple of fans in here of the series that Polygon creates called Unraveled, and there was an Unraveled episode about the perfect Poke Rap, updating the old one that we grew up with in the 90s, and making it much better. And I have recently listened to that song probably at least like 30 times in the last week, because it just keeps on getting stuck in my head to the point now where I've started to be able to sing along with it, which is concerning for people who have listened to it. It's an intense version, and it's very, very good, and I highly recommend it. Brian David Gilbert, absolute mad lad there, did an amazing job with it. But
Emily, I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about.
I know you have no idea what I'm talking. I'll send you the video link afterwards. It's the best half an hour that you'll spend.
Okay, well, I hopefully not better than this half an hour that people have already spent here with us on this.
Yeah. Panini Press Peach, I have not mastered the interpretive dance section yet, although I do have a Patrick, so that would help me. So
oh my
anyway,
goodness.
We'll stop talking about that because it looks like I can press a button here and do a thing. So we'll do that instead.
All right. Oh, looks like our friend has helped open up our. Ooh, there's another tuna
tuna.
route there.
Look
We've
at
got a
that
little bit of a
tuna.
current going by there. This would actually be very similar to the California current that we recently had a finger of licking here off the shores of Monterey with the bluefin tuna that we had arriving in the Monterey Bay. The tuna are the ones there with the yellow fins there on the back.
Yeah.
Looks like we got the pink snapper going by there with us as well. Ooh, we got some juvenile golden trevally, it looks like, joining us here in this stream. Are you controlling anything at this point?
I am not. This is a little super cut scene.
Well, you're cutting through the water, slicing through with Ruth. Oh, that was so cool. So those golden trevally you just saw right there, the orcas. Ooh, there were some horn sharks. We're back in the kelp. Oh my goodness. You had an orchestra join you there, Emily. It's Pandadolphimonium. Pandemonium. Pandadolphimonium.
This is my favorite podcast that we're tuning into right now.
We've got either sailfish. Yeah, those are some sailfish there. Oh my goodness gracious. This is gorgeous. Wow. What did we do to deserve this cutscene? Incredible. Look at that.
Whee!
Whoa. Free Willy, 10 points. Oh, only 9 from the French judge, but hey, great job there, Emily.
Oh, no.
Oh, all the color's gone.
All the color is gone. Oh no, things just got very serious. It's like we're talking about the Vaquita again.
Oh no, it's like, we Emily, we used up our depression conversation at the beginning.
We used it up too early. We should have reserved some.
That is one bleached looking reef. Yeah. Well, do we want to talk a little bit about how coral bleaching works?
Yeah, this is not a healthy ecosystem that we are hanging out in right now.
Yeah, so there's lots of different things that can affect corals out there. You may have heard of ocean acidification. You may have heard of, habitat destruction from, say, trawling or oil spills, like what recently was happening. I believe was over in the Maldives. But one of the insidious things that can happen with corals is what's known as coral bleaching. And if you really want a primer on that, definitely check out Chasing Coral, which I believe was on Netflix a little bit ago.
Yeah.
But basically what happens, we were mentioning those coral have those symbiotic algae that live inside of them. And those are very heat specific, temperature specific. And so as the ocean warms due to climate change, due to basically the ocean is absorbing massive amounts of heat energy that we have in the atmosphere. And as that happens and the water warms, it can really stress out the coral. And in a last ditch effort to get some more thermally resistant dinoflagellates, those zooxanthellae that are out there in the water, sometimes coral will spit out, basically eject the zooxanthellae that they have, thus turning them bright white, so they lose their coloration. That's coral bleaching. So the coral isn't dead yet when it bleaches, but it's under severe duress. And what the coral is trying to do is hopefully get some more temperature resistant zooxanthellae out of the water column. And so coral bleaching is a huge issue worldwide. And so what we're seeing here represented is a very damaged coral reef. Coral, of course, being the base of the food chain in many places, because they're the ones that are photosynthesizing, getting that energy there from the sun. So this is a not so healthy looking reef out there.
No.
And that is another reason why, so many here at the Aquarium, our mission is to inspire conservation of the ocean. We talk a lot about different things we can do in our individual lives to help lower our carbon footprint. If you're not familiar with the concept of carbon footprint, is how many fossil fuels we use every day to exist. But another big thing that we can do outside of our own personal thinking through how we can be more efficient is urging leaders and voting for legislation that helps make sure that we are putting our priorities with sustainability of the planet that we rely on, and not simply using up the resources that we have. So responsibly managing our shared collective resources is a huge thing that the aquarium tries to promote. So if you have not registered to vote, if you're not an engaged person in that world yet, we encourage you to do so, because when you engage politically with your leaders, with the legislation that we have that come out every so often here to help make sure that we are using our resources responsibly, your vote and your presence and your debate and discussion with your friends and family about these issues go a really, really long way for corals, even thousands of miles away from us. You may have heard that there was recently a plastics bill that did not pass here in California, but obviously there's still more to come there. So lots of different things there. If you follow us on social media, we'll definitely point you in the direction of ways that we can help out. I'm not exactly sure the political structures here within ABZû and who we need to be writing to about the particular state of this coral, but I imagine this bright blue beacon here in front of you, Emily, will give us some clues as to how we can help with the health of the environment around you.
Yes. Let's go.
Now it is time for the bleaching talk we just saw there on the chat.
Now we can talk about coral bleaching.
Okay.
All right.
Here we go. All right. Hopefully we can bring the good feeling back.
Our little nautiloid buddies still hanging around.
Oh, look at that. Did we establish that this was the chamber of something or other?
The chamber of secrets.
Of secrets, right. That's right. Yeah, Frodo's out there saying, go ahead and keep your secrets. And we're like, okay. Oh, the question is, are they ammonites or nautiloids?
Well, I mean, very closely related. Based on...
Looks like ammonites.
Yeah, their shells are kind of divided like that and rough. I would go with ammonites. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I couldn't get a good look at them. Thanks for swimming up closer there, Emily. If we're gonna have
if we're gonna
have shelled cephalopods here, we gotta investigate. Nice. Well, let us know in the chat how we're doing here if you have any questions for us. Yeah, I think we've talked about ammonites previously on stream and nautiluses, and part of the reason that ammonites may have gone extinct, whereas nautiluses are still around, is thought to maybe have something to do with their reproductive strategy related to ocean acidification that we were mentioning before. There have been major acidification moments. Ooh, whoa. What are you handing off there, Emily?
My soul. No,
your soul, S-O-L-E.
S-O-L-E.
Look, we got the
fish.
orcas. Yay. What an occasion!
Oh, it's a very special occasion.
Very special occasion indeed. Oh, and here comes the water level again, or the spirit level rising up again. But yeah, part of the theory behind why maybe ammonites went extinct and nautiluses did not, there have been major acidification events in the ocean in the past that had huge repercussions on shelled organisms, because the chemistry of their shell building relies on pretty stable oceanographic conditions. And when it's acidic, a lot of their building blocks get taken up and are not available for animals to build their shells. And so it's thought that, and by the way, this is pretty trippy pink and purple seaweed that we've got going on there, Emily. So just to make long story short, ammonites were thought to have a pelagic larval duration where their young ones went up into the water column near the surface, where they were more likely to be affected by acidified water, whereas nautiluses tend to live in deeper water and lay eggs that develop over a longer period of time in less changed waters down deeper. So it's thought that that specific reproductive strategy, where ammonites may have been more prominent and successful in tens of thousands of species of shelled cephalopod, made their way through the ocean for a very long time, it seems that the nautilus reproductive strategy of having their eggs down in deeper water prevented them from having the same issues with the acidification. And now we should go to something that nobody should ever attempt in the wild, but that is why we have video games. Emily,
yeah, I'm living out a dream right now. Pat, don't mind
along
me.
Here you're listening to a podcast, cruising along with your orchestra of killer whales here.
Yeah. Sorry, I am just completely distracted by just writing on this orca right here. Although, Pat, I do have to say
Yes.
one thing that you are seeing in this group of orcas right here that you really wouldn't see out in the wild is that most of these orcas are males. That we
And how can you tell,
swimming
Emily?
with right now? They got that big old dorsal fin on them.
That's right.
Yeah, so females are going to have shorter dorsal fins, although females will grow to sometimes be much larger than the males, just in size. Their dorsal fins are going to be much shorter. Males do tend to get very, very big. I mean, these are the largest dolphins in the world here that we are swimming with right now.
Yes.
But those dorsal fins, and you can tell just from the scale of our little avatar here, our person riding on it, they're going to be about 4 to 6 feet tall, those dorsal fins on the males, versus the females, which are only going to be a couple of feet tall. Much
That's
shorter
right.
fins.
Well, and something too to mention in the particular pod there is that also normally the leader of the pod would be the matriarch.
Yes.
You wouldn't have this many males there together. There is a little baby.
There's a little baby, a little nugget there. But typically you have matriarchal groups where you have females with their daughters and their daughters, all in the same pod together, and juveniles with them, and sometimes the males hanging out with mom and grandma and aunts and stuff, but you wouldn't see many males together in a pod. There are a few instances of that. One of them happens to be here in the bay, where 2 orphaned male orcas that would normally be just kind of hanging out on their own, kind of joined with each other, and have their own little mini pod of 2, the 2 of them hanging out together.
And we should mention that orcas have been spotted recently in the Monterey Bay. So these are animals that we also find out here. Some of them are more residents, kind of hang out along the California coast. And sometimes we even have orcas that come down from the Pacific Northwest to come down and maybe look for some salmon that we have out here. But also some of them will go and look for marine mammals to feed on. And that's actually, my understanding is that's where the term killer whale comes from. It's actually sort of a mistranslation from folks calling them whale killers, because some pods of orca, some subspecies, the bigs killer whales, as I believe they're known, those I think they're also called transient orcas, but the bigs are known as marine mammal feeders. And so every so often here in the Monterey Bay, especially in April and May, when the gray whales are migrating from the lagoons of Baja up towards the feeding grounds that they have in Alaska, the orcas will go after the young calves and will hunt young gray whales. So if you've ever visited the aquarium, you may have seen in our rafters that we have orcas and gray whales, and the story that's being played out up there is the same drama that happens off the back deck of the aquarium every so often. We've actually gotten to see it ourselves, where orcas may have been hunting some young gray whales there. So that's where the term killer whale comes from, is my understanding that it actually is a permutation of whale killer, because these dolphins, these toothed whales, are known to go after the gray whales and other types of whales there around the world. They'll also eat dolphins and porpoises themselves. Those big ones do. But other orcas are more focused on eating different types of fishes, including salmon, which if I was an orca, I think I would be focused on eating my fill of salmon, because that just seems like an absolutely delicious way to go.
I'm just delighting in how much detail they put into our orcas in game here, because like you can literally see like their teeth when you get up close to their face, because I mean they are toothed whales. You have your mysticetes and your odontocetes, and with the mysticetes being your mustached whales, aka your baleen whales, and your odontocetes are your toothed whales. And
Emily, I should mention that I feel like I'm becoming a bit of a mysticete myself, because at this point the mustache and the beard are starting to serve as a built-in pasta strainer, just like I've definitely found remnants of soup where there used to not be any. So why are you riding the baby, Emily? That's so rude. No, I'm sure the baby was fine with it.
We were just hanging out.
Are you saying that was just a calf workout? Okay.
Yeah.
So we should also maybe mention here, Emily, the game does a really good job of pointing out just how brilliant white their bellies are and how black their backs are.
Yeah.
Counter shading is the explanation for that, in case you folks out there have ever wondered why it is that so many animals in the ocean have a lighter colored belly and a darker colored back. That's largely due to the ability to camouflage yourself from above and from below, because right now you can see Emily is looking up towards the sun. You can see just how bright it is, and then if you look down, it's going to be a lot darker, especially as you get down deeper. So if you're above an orca looking straight down, you can see that you would be looking at the black back and the darkness of the deeper water. But if you were below the orca looking up, you would be looking at the white belly with the bright white sun, thus disguising this animal from above and from below. And that works out for predators and for prey. So think of penguins, think of dolphins, think of salmon, think of orcas. You can see that counter shading is the term for it, and it is a camouflage, defense, and a hunting mechanism there, in case you were wondering. For the folks out there wondering how many different species of orca there are, I'm not sure if it's species or subspecies. My apologies to the marine mammalogists out there, but I believe that there are 3 designations of the resident orcas, which are the ones that tend to feed on fish, the bigs orcas, which are the ones that feed on marine mammals, and then there's the offshores, which I believe are a little bit more mysterious as to what they're doing there. Lots of research being done though on orcas, and especially Emily, I'm sure this is one of the facts that blows my mind, is the idea that orcas are so culturally different from different areas of the ocean. They speak completely different orca languages, very, very similar to people. So even though you've got orcas that may look very similar, they'll speak completely different languages and have completely different culture depending on where they're from around the world. And you'll find orcas all around the planet in subtropical and temperate waters. Emily, what's your favorite orca fact? Do you have one? Hello, Emily, are you there?
I'm here. I'm thinking. I'm noodling on it. Because we talked about a lot of my favorite facts so far about them, like their different dialects and everything.
Well, I've got one.
Okay.
My favorite orca fact that I learned recently is that there are orcas in the Southern Ocean off of Antarctica that will get covered in diatoms and algae that are kind of stuck to their skin and growing on their skin. And apparently that is very, very itchy and uncomfortable. And so you might see photos of Southern Ocean orcas that are kind of a greenish gray color, and that's because of algae growing on their skin. And those orcas will swim all the way up into fjords in South America to go get cleaned and rub themselves in fjords and basically go on a spa trip, meaning that they are one of the only organisms that we know of besides us that go on long migrations for hygienic purposes. Solely there. So think of an orca spa day as you fly here on the back of a turtle. That's totally awesome. Yeah. Would that be a hawksbill?
That's a good question. I would say either a hawksbill or it's a green. Actually, I believe it's a green because it said that when I started to write it.
Okay, cool. Well, anyway, that's my orca fact that I learned, that every so often orcas will go get. I guess it's not a manicure, a pedicure. It would be a podicure, a
tummy-a-cure, a
dermacure. Anyway, they need some exfoliating, some exfoliating orcas there. So anyway, I learned that recently.
Exfoliation?
A fluke cure, dermabrasion. Cool.
Dermabrasion, yeah.
Dermabrasion. All right, Emily, any more orca facts? Okay.
I got distracted by your dermabrasion story.
No worries. Yeah,
I mean we covered a lot about them.
We did. Yeah, I was also not even thinking about it, just listening to the beautiful music there that we have in this game. Shout out again to the game developers for creating such a beautiful thing. Should we go meditate on that shark and look at all the different species?
Sure.
Whoa, look at that counter shading example.
I know.
Dang.
To the shark.
Excellent. To the shark. Let's go. There it is. Exfoliation.
Yeah.
Yep.
I guess you missed that the first time. I said that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I must have.
That's okay.
Good job, Emily.
I forgive you.
Way to keep up. I don't know where I'm at either. All right, we're meditating. Some meditation. A moment of meditation, everybody. Let's find out who we got here.
Relaxation.
Some relaxation
yellow
and meditation.
tang, aka bubbles. Bubbles, my bubbles.
That's right. Yellow tang. Oof. That is a beautiful fish.
Yeah. I think we talked about parrotfish poop last time. Yeah.
I believe that was one of the first facts that we even brought up in the.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was like the very first thing.
It was like one of the first things about how bright white the sand is.
Let us ruin white sand beaches for you all.
But yeah, for those of you folks who didn't watch the first episode of our ABZû streaming, parrotfish are responsible for the beautiful white sand beaches that you may have enjoyed on a tropical vacay, because they like to crunch down on coral and they digest the coral and spit out the calcium carbonate exoskeleton of the coral, thus producing beautiful white sand there. So white sand beaches, you can thank some parrotfish processing, or poo if you prefer, from the tail end there of those fish.
I don't know if we talked about this. It's incredibly loud when they're chowing down on corals out there. If you ever get a chance to go diving or snorkeling in an area that has parrotfish, I mean, it is astonishing how loud it is when they just go up to a coral reef and they have those fused teeth like a beak on the front of them that they just crunch down into this very, very, I mean, it's hard as rock, this calcium carbonate, and it's all to get the animal basically living on the surface of that calcium carbonate skeleton, but they're eating rocks and then pooping out sand. But it's one of the weirdest things to hear underwater, is listening to parrotfish just crunch away at a coral reef.
Crunch.
Crunch, crunch, crunch. We got a barracuda.
Ooh, barracuda. Yeah, barracuda are awesome. I've definitely seen some of those in the Mediterranean, some schools of barracuda there. Someone was wondering if what causes black sand beaches, and that, I believe, has to do with the breakdown of volcanic rock there, basaltic rock. So black sand beaches, though, are where you'll often find leatherback sea turtles that come to our area. They'll head out to Indonesia and lay their eggs over there. But also, a white sand beach at night is not a black sand beach. There. Whoa, the barracuda got a fish.
2 fish.
Whoa. Dang.
Hungry boy.
I know it's not a barracuda, but they feel very reminiscent of pikes. And what was that Disney movie about King Arthur? And
You mean
there's
the
the
sword
moment
and the
where
stone?
The Sword and the Stone. Yeah, I just remember being, as a future marine biologist, I was very scared by the pike in that one. It was very traumatizing to see that fish, and that barracuda is giving me similar vibes there in terms of its predatory outline.
There's a good question over there on Twitch, Patrick from Muffins. Is it only parrotfish that create white sand beaches, or are there other fish, other animals that contribute to those white sand beaches?
Oh, yeah, it's a great question. So it's a majority parrotfish from their crunching that help erode the reef there. But also when you have big storms and just wave action generally, dislodging dead coral, grinding that up, you can also get some deposits that way too, just from general erosion that happens there from weathering of corals and so on. But largely, you'll see there was a video that one of our founders, Steve Webster, one of his favorite things to do with a camera is to chase after parrotfish when he's diving in tropical environments and see if he can film parrotfish pooping. And it is just a very fine, silty crop dust that they do swimming about there over the reef. So you can really tell when it's a parrotfish doing the beach maintenance there.
Yeah. As soon as he started telling that story, just very evocative for me, Patrick, having seen many of the videos that Steve has taken of parrotfish pooping and how proud he is of those videos that he has of parrotfish pooping.
Yeah. Oh, he's very, very proud of them.
He is very proud of them.
I would be too.
Yeah.
Oh, and someone also was mentioning in chat that it is a barracuda that was responsible for a rather tragic event in Finding Nemo.
That's true.
That is correct. But also we could probably mention, I don't know if we've mentioned this in an ABZû stream yet, but in Finding Nemo, that defining moment where the barracuda goes after Nemo's mother, what normally would have happened, ooh, look at that beautiful triggerfish along with Dory there on the right side. That's gorgeous.
Yeah, they're focusing on the yellow tang over there on the left, but that triggerfish, that's
look at
where
the
it's
triggerfish. But so when Nemo's mom is gone, normally Nemo's dad would have literally become Nemo's mother, because clownfish are sequential hermaphrodites, meaning that they change sex over their life. A friend of mine did their research, shout out to Jimmy, did their research on anemone fish and informed us in our ichthyology class that anemone fish are born nulls, where they have no sex. And when they arrive on an anemone, if there is no other anemone fish, then they will become a large female in charge. And then the next anemone fish that shows up will become a male. And you'll have a large group of males hanging out with one female. And when that female leaves, moves on to another anemone, or maybe gets eaten, then the next largest male will then become the female. And so in Finding Nemo, normally Nemo's dad, Marlin, would have literally become Nemo's mom. And then eventually, if Nemo settled on his own anemone, he would have become Nema, or whatever chosen name, as he would have transitioned into being a female. clownfish by the end there. So that is usually something that's not mentioned to Disney's audiences, but you gotta know about it. So yes, thank you for the reminder that the barracuda that we can see there on stream would have been a deciding factor in the sex of those protagonists in that movie.
Yep.
Oh, what's the difference between a pike and a barracuda? Different fish families, but you can see that they have converged on very, very similar outlines for being a torpedo of despair. Whoa!
Right on cue.
Got another fish.
Right on cue.
Dang. Yes, pikes are freshwater.
Yep, pikes are freshwater and brackish water versus barracuda, which are mostly going to be marine.
Yeah.
Another thing, Patrick, I was going to mention back when we were talking about white sand beaches and stuff, beaches all over the world, too, no matter what color the sand. You also have a lot of other animals in the ocean who are eating the sand and digesting things like the algae and stuff off of the outside of these grains of sand and then pooping out clean sand too. There are many different species of like sea cucumbers and stuff that are doing this too. So the beautiful sand that you have up on a beach has probably passed through many, many digestive systems before you have dug your toes into it, which is a bit upsetting to think about, but at the same time, I mean, all water on Earth at one point has probably passed through another organism too. So it's we're all connected through.
Oh yeah, no, we're drinking
through that.
We're drinking leftovers of Diplodocus, but we don't need to focus too much on that. I was informed over on YouTube maybe not to talk too much about coral bleaching and the bummer stories there in the ocean. We probably don't need to talk about how everything is recycled. We can maybe stay highbrow and just say that we are all made of star stuff, as Carl Sagan would have put it, where all of the elements in our bodies are due to explosions and supernovae of stars out there in the galaxy for billions and billions of years. And that's very high-minded, and let's not think too much about how there's always been pretty much the same amount of water on our planet that has gone through all the living organisms. Whoa!
Oh no!
Not my triggerfish.
And Dory.
Dory.
Oh, no.
Whoops.
Oh no.
Looks like I know where Dory went. Well, that was a shocker.
We found her.
Oh, barracuda.
Oh,
yeah, F's in the chat for a beautiful triggerfish, if possible, everybody. F's to pay respect.
Yeah, it was undulate triggerfish, I believe they said in the game. Yeah, it was beautiful.
What kind of triggerfish?
Undulate.
Ungulate.
Not ung. Not like,
okay.
Yeah,
I was gonna
not
say,
like the mammals, ungulates. Yes.
Okay. Well, it was a deer fish until the barracuda ate it.
It was a deer fish, but not a deer fish.
Dang.
Oh, no. Oh, beans.
Oh, I'm being told over on YouTube, there's nothing anyone could tell us at this point that could make 2020 worse. It's not about poop anyway. So please proceed or
proceed. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Certainly can. Gone too soon. Goodness.
So I guess we're not talking about triggerfish then, man.
No, people were mentioning that it might trigger certain people in chat is what they were saying, but
yeah, we don't need to.
But we can mention maybe about triggerfish is that they have a trigger on their fin, and they have a really, really amazing locking mechanism with their fin. So look it up. It's kind of a bony fin ray with a crazy or very just bizarre looking hinge mechanism. So look up trigger fish fin, and they can basically we need to stop following this barracuda. This is getting gruesome.
I'm sorry.
Also,
I'm
hungry.
Just keeps on going.
But yeah, if you look up the triggerfish, they have a fin on them, or their dorsal fin. They have a front part that can lock in place and really cause some damage if you are a predator trying to bite down on the triggerfish. It has an amazing locking mechanism, and we should really point out that the body shape of fishes is just so incredibly adaptive. You can have so many different ways of being a fish whether you're a barracuda, a unicorn fish, a tang, or the parrotfish we saw earlier. So many different adaptations there. And those fin rays on the dorsal fins of fishes are incredibly malleable on an evolutionary standpoint for different adaptations. So like the same type of trigger, or the same structure that forms the trigger of a triggerfish, is the same type of structure that ends up forming the venomous spine of a rockfish, or the beautiful lures of an oarfish, or the lure of an anglerfish as well. Oh, and yeah, many triggerfish have teeth that can cause serious wounds to larger animals. Andy F mentions. Yes, I can say that Titan triggerfish that I've seen are notorious for giving really bad bites to divers. Oh, Emily, do you know if the spine of a triggerfish is venomous?
I don't believe so.
I thought it was just a mechanical, this is no fun to bite down on.
I believe it's only mechanical. I don't think that I've ever heard of it being venomous.
I can look it up real quick. Yeah, looks like they are not specifically no, looks like they're not specifically venomous. It's a mechanical deterrent there. Okay. Well, there we go.
All right.
Oh, Cornell has a bird personality quiz. Fish personality quiz when? Thank you, Liminal Hunt. We'll look into that.
We do have a sea otter personality quiz.
We do have a sea otter personality quiz. Yeah. That's true.
In case you want to find out which one of our sea otters you are. Oh, okay. These barracudas just keep on chowing down on our fish friends. So we're gonna.
I'm not really. There's not tons of relaxed ocean following our barracuda around. So maybe we'll head around. Let's dive down to the bottom, see if there's some biodiversity we can unleash.
Didn't see any when we were swimming around earlier. I think
that's right. Maybe we need to head over to the next
swim
room
through the
out
gate.
Out of the psychedelic seaweed.
the purple seaweed. Now, Patrick, this does beg the question. When we describe algae and many seaweeds, we usually try and put them into either the red algae, green algae, or brown algae bucket. Would this be in the red algae family with just a real weird tint to it, do you think, or would we create an entirely new phylum for this?
Well, if that's structural color that we're seeing there, I would say a different phylum would likely be, because fluorescent pink carotenoid pigments for photosynthesis would probably be a very unique adaptation there. But I'm just going to go with generally, Emily, that if the kelp looks that color, you have been envenomated by something at some point in the ocean. It's best to maybe see kelp, go lie down out of the water, because something has gone terribly wrong.
Yes. Yes.
But the different colors of algae are related to the different types of pigments that they have for photosynthesis. Just as you folks may know, in the fall, when you have a green leaf that turns red and orange and brown, those are different pigments being revealed that are used for different photosynthesis at different wavelengths of light. I love that pattern. Ooh, I need that on my walls.
Yeah.
Of the kelp. That's beautiful. There's a question over on YouTube. Reef fish are colorful so they can blend in. How come there's so many multicolored if most corals are just one color? It's an excellent question. You know, a lot of reef fish are multicolored for many, many different, oh, look at that shark, for many, many different reasons. So some of them are colorful because they might be potentially trying to ward off predators, or if they happen to be venomous, or if they are communicating with other organisms. In coral reefs, you tend to have very little real estate around. And so there's a huge diversity of colors and body shape. And the fish are potentially using those colors for speciating ideas or for sexual reproduction cases. So for example, lots of different wrasses are going to have males that have really beautiful coloration on them, and that is going to be a way for females and other members of that same species to know who's the male, and have them compete for reproductive purposes. So there's so many different reasons why you're going to have different colors of tropical reef fish, but one of the big reasons is that there's a huge pressure for speciation on a coral reef with limited resources and limited space, that you're going to have a lot of different colors and shapes and other things show up to differentiate between your different groups there. Yeah, there's also a few other reasons, some theories as to why. Oh, that was a Dorado. Might be some other reasons why there are more species on coral reefs than other places, and that could be due to the fact that coral reefs have not historically frozen during ice ages, whereas other areas that have been affected by ice ages have lost a lot of their species diversity, and then they recover it more slowly, whereas coral reefs have had a longer time undisturbed. And also, one final thing, thank you for taking your time going into that next room there, Emily. One final thing with coral is that it's thought that maybe the abundance of very high-powered UV radiation at the equator may be responsible for more opportunities for genetic mutation that could then lead to more speciation, and therefore more colors, et cetera, et cetera. So lots of different reasons for the multicolored show that you see on coral reefs. A lot of it has to do with communication between different animals, could also be due to camouflage or letting other organisms know that you mean business. So many different reasons for colors out there in the ocean, especially in tropical areas. Yeah, our stuff around here tends to be a little bit less colorful because maybe less impetus to become super colorful, and especially if you can camouflage in more drab colors. But Emily, I know you know this, but my life philosophy is that life is too short for earth tones. So I really do appreciate a Dorado swimming by, just like so, with beautiful iridescent blue-green. Ooh, we've got some oceanic white tips out there.
Yeah.
All right, I'll stop talking. Emily, please proceed. Whoa, this is cool.
It's so cool.
Well, there goes a striped marlin over there on the side, NBD. I love these pelagic zones here. The reefs are super cool, but look at that bait ball. Ooh, now this definitely looks like Mexico right here.
I was going to say, like, are you having...
Oh my
I'm pretty
goodness,
sure that you have that exact photo right there.
that is what you would find off of Socorros Islands. A friend of mine, Ralph, took a photo that looks basically exactly like this, with reef sharks and marlins swimming around the school of jacks. Oh, this is so cool. Whoa. Dang. Well, if you've ever wanted to know what it's like to go diving in a school of jacks with predators going around it, I mean, this is such a perfect encapsulation. Shout out to the game developers again, man. So, Emily, do you want to mention a little bit about how maybe the schooling technique is keeping them safe from the marlin, or do you want me to take that?
I take that. So basically, this schooling technique is a way for fish to basically stay safe from these visual predators. So all of these sharks, these marlins and everything that are swimming around this big old school right here, they are using their eyes to hunt. Very similar to us, they are picking out one specific fish, or trying to do that to chase that one fish down and catch it. But when you are in a huge school like this, trying to pinpoint just one fish is quite confusing. As you see, like, right just a moment ago when we were in the middle of that school trying to pinpoint just one fish would be pretty much impossible. So what they're doing is they're going to be looking for fish that don't look like the rest of the school. So these fish on the outside that are kind of by themselves, those fish behind me that are swimming in the wrong direction, those are going to be the fish that stick out and that are going to draw the eyesight, the eye line of these big visual predators there. And so those are going to be the ones that are going to get eaten first. It's not like a whale coming up through this school of fish and just opening its mouth and catching everything that it can. These visual hunters, they need to be able to spot one, put in that energy, chase it down, and catch it. It's one of the reasons why when we feed the open sea exhibit, for example, and we have a big school of sardines in there that are living with some of their predators out there in the wild. We have Dorado, we have tuna in there, we have hammerhead sharks in there that naturally would be eating sardines, but for the most part the sardine school that we have inside of the open sea is completely safe, and it's because when we feed the exhibit, we're feeding these big predators pieces of food, sometimes the same foods. We'll take chopped up sardines and toss them into the water there, but the difference is it's all in an energy budget. They would rather chase after something that is not trying to swim away from them than try and chase after one of those sardines, trying to pick it out with their eyes, and putting in all of that energy to try and chase down a sardine in the actual school instead of the open sea exhibit. So we have very, very low predation happening inside of the open sea exhibit because of the exact behaviors that they would be using out there in the wild to chase down a school of fish like this. It's a very, very important behavior that these fish do to stay safe out there in the ocean. And so that's also why it's very, very important to remember to stay in school. Otherwise, you're going to get eaten. You're going to get eaten by a marlin. You're going to get eaten by a shark. You don't know who's going to come along and pick you off there. So stay in school.
Exactly right. Yeah, it doesn't help to be a rebel in a fish school. Certainly. And so lots of different questions that we got going by right now in the different chats over on YouTube and on Twitch. The questions being related to common names, Emily. So some folks out there are wondering, wait, I thought Dorado were freshwater, like in Animal Crossing, from what we were talking about before. Yeah. So mahi, Dorado, dolphin fish. Those are all the same name for the same type of fish there. So Dorado, named for the beautiful golden hue that they turn when they're very excited. And similarly, some folks saying, well, wait, those are trevally. Those aren't jacks. So trevally and jacks are interchangeable. Big eye trevally jacks are the type that you find in Cabo Pulmo that I've gone diving with, but there are lots of different types of trevally jacks, and that's what those are there. Ooh, you have got some pilot fish they're swimming by there, Emily.
Yeah, I know. There it is. I was trying to find that Dorado since you were talking about it. So
yeah, there's our dolphin, aka dolphin fish, aka mahi, aka Dorado. That is a big boy.
I know.
Ooh, that is a big male.
Do you want to talk about how we can tell that it's a male?
Sure.
If I can
just
find
very
it again.
simply,
Oh, no.
It has the big flat forehead there on the front. So females have a rounded forehead, whereas males have a big flat forehead. And those are an incredibly short-lived fish. They live only about 4 years or so in the wild, maybe a little bit longer, but they reach max size around then. And they reproduce very quickly. That's why they're, in some areas, a somewhat sustainable fishery. That is a very excited Dorado, because normally these fish will be kind of a silvery gray, same as the trevally that you're seeing back there. And they have chromatophores and iridophores, which are special types of skin cells that will help flash these different colors. So they can be this beautiful greenish, yellow, and blue, and they can flash stripes on themselves as well. And it's thought that helps coordinate on the hunt with other Dorado when they might be going after schools of fish there. So awesome stuff there.
Yep.
Great job following that Dorado around there, Emily.
Thank you. I was trying my best here. That's all I can do. Dorado, mahi-mahi, dolphin fish, whatever you want to call it. As long as people know what you're talking about, then you can call it whatever
And you're
you
good,
want.
yeah. And so trevally jacks are that's often a term for jacks, trevally generally. So common names frequently can be rather confusing. Oh, look at that oceanic white tip. Now, these are a shark that are notorious in ocean lore, but oceanic white tips are an example of a very endangered shark. I believe they're down over 90% of their historic abundance. They're basically the cleanup crew. Oh, look at that outline right there. You can see that gorgeous, gorgeous profile there with the huge pectoral fins. And that's why so many of them are missing out there, is their fins are often caught in the shark finning trade out there. And so we talked to our shark biologist friends yesterday, talking about how you hear a lot about where the shark fins are consumed, but you should also know that many, many countries participate in shark fin trade. And so it's another reason why getting involved in your community and in your legislation is so important, because collectively countries can all band together to help reduce the demand for shark fins by, or the supply of shark fins by choosing not to sell their shark fins that they get. So oceanic white tips are one of the top predators out there in the open ocean, and they are down over 90% of their historic numbers. And so what a beautiful representation here in the game there, Emily. And again, great job. Notice how fast Emily is having to swim just to keep up with a very chill shark going by. Again, very, very accurate representation there of what it's like to swim with sharks.
That's true. Now, I don't know if it's going to let me dive down, but Patrick, I thought I saw a shadow before, and I got very excited about it.
Uh-oh. Well, we did swim down before. Who dat?
We got some humpback whales, baby!
Yeah, humpback to the future. Here we are, bailing into it, Emily. Let's go hang out. Speaking of pectoral fins, here's the longest pectoral fin in proportion to their body size of any organism, or of any whale, certainly. Oh, again, don't try this at home. Marine Mammal Protection Act makes you a felon if you do this, but great job riding on the back of a humpback.
Thanks, buddy.
Wow. You want to talk a little bit about humpback whales? Because we have them in the Monterey Bay.
Talk about humpback whales. Yeah, we have them in the bay right now. In fact, Patrick, the internet reminded me that 7 years ago yesterday was one of the most incredible days of being a marine scientist in my entire life, which was when we got the first reports of there being over 120 humpback whales spotted in a single day in the bay.
Wow.
So these are whales that we have here in the Monterey Bay pretty much all year round now. More often in the summertime, they come here and they feed on all of the small bait fish that come into the bay. So the anchovies and the sardines, they're here feeding on krill. Anything that's small and schooling out there in the bay, humpback whales absolutely adore. And here in the Monterey Bay, where we have these beautifully cold, rich waters, we get so many of those schools of fish that these humpback whales are eating. So the humpback whales come here to gain weight to sustain them on their long migrations. So they're coming here, they're getting nice and fat, and then they're swimming down towards Costa Rica to give birth in lagoons down there, and then coming back up here to eat again. And that would be a typical humpback whale migration for Central Coast humpback whales. A lot of times people when they think of
the way you
whales,
said to eat again, it was like, we eat again.
We feast
Sorry.
again.
Is that what you meant? Just
Yeah.
The way they use it. Okay. We eat again.
We
That's
eat
awesome.
again.
All right, proceed, Emily. I just had to note that for myself. That was
I like it. You have different populations of humpback whales all across the world, though, and they're all going to certain areas to eat, and they're all going to certain areas to breed. So a lot of times we get questions from people who are like, oh, are these the same whales that I saw up in Alaska? And the answer would be no. There's a different population here in the eastern Pacific Ocean that go back and forth between Alaska and Hawaii. So they're going up to Alaska, down on all the food up there, and then swimming down to Hawaii to breed and give birth. So these are animals that make migrations that are thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of miles every single year between their feeding grounds and their mating grounds and their breeding grounds, and warmer waters where it's much easier to raise a calf in warmer waters, which is why they go to those warmer areas. However, warmer water tends to be less productive in terms of food that these whales want to eat, so they go to the colder waters in order to get all of the blubber that they need to sustain them on these long migrations and for the months that they'll be down in these warmer areas. So the humpback whales, though, here in the bay, I mean, these are the ones that when people think of whales like breaching and jumping out of the water, these are those whales. These are incredibly acrobatic animals. They do so many neat behaviors. They do, fluke slapping on the water. They do pectoral slapping on the water. They'll do complete breaches out of the water, just launching these 60-ton bodies, or not 60 tons, 60 tons. Wow, my brain just went blank there for a second. 60-ton animals. For some reason, a part of me wanted to be like 60,000 tons, but no, it's 60. Anyway, so 60-ton animal launching themselves out of the water. I mean, these animals get to be 45 to 60 feet long, and like you said, Patrick, have the longest pectoral fins of any humpback whale, or not any humpback whale, of any whale in the world. Oh man, it's I can't even blame it.
You okay over there, Emily?
Friday afternoon. It's just Wednesday afternoon, my friends. But that's actually where their scientific name comes from. Their genus name is Megaptera, which means big wing. And it's because it looks like they have big old wings with those big old pectoral fins. And Patrick, I can keep on talking about humpback whales for at least another 30 minutes, so please stop me. Stop me and interject when you have something to say about humpback whales.
Okay. No, will do. No, and actually there's a very interesting discussion that's happening in the chat over on YouTube and a few other and a few other lines there as well. But we were mentioning, how oceanic whitetips are potentially endangered or are endangered due to consumption of their fins. It's important to remember that humpback whales out here were actually hunted in the Monterey Bay up until 1973, basically the last year before the Marine Mammal Protection Act, before the Endangered Species Act, and how it's not a given. It wasn't a given for us to have humpback whales in the Monterey Bay going forward because they were hunted to near extinction. Many whale species are slowly recovering. It seems that our local humpbacks seem to be doing a lot better than they were historically, but they were being harvested up until, my parents were born in the 50s, so they were in their 20s when we stopped whaling here along the shore. So when we have these discussions about where our oceanic resources go, we know that whales are wonderful and majestic and an important part of the ecosystem, but they were also used for their resources for a very long time, and they were historically done so sustainably, even by the people that lived out here along our coast for tens of thousands of years. So it's really important to add nuance to discussions about using oceanic resources, because largely, as we know in Cannery Row, when things become unsustainable, when our ability of harnessing what we have out there in the ocean goes awry, is when we disconnect who's using or where the product is being used from where it's being caught. So as we know in Cannery Row, the fish the sardines that used to be considered inexhaustible became exhaustible once we started feeding most of those sardines to chickens, because you can just keep getting more and more chickens and therefore catch more fish and therefore make more chickens. And suddenly you have an unsustainable, overconsumptive problem there. And similarly with whales, where there was an overconsumption and over harvesting that was happening. So just very important to have that nuance when you're discussing our oceanic resources, because every country in the world is learning from over exploitation what can happen there. And so now we know, and now we certainly most people agree that whales are an absolutely integral part of an ocean ecosystem. And as we talked about on all of these ocean streams, the more players are out there in the ocean, the more niches are filled in the environment, the better the world is for people, not just for the animals themselves. But that was a lesson that we had to learn, very difficult lessons that we've had to learn numerous times in our history as we've overconsumed, over-harvested, because of economic pressures that didn't used to exist, and economic incentives that didn't used to exist as well there. So in any case, lots of great discussion going on there around how we use our resources. And, it's difficult to think of a whale as a source of anything other than wonder and enjoyment. But it's also important to acknowledge that part of the reason that things become unsustainable is because of pressures that the environment can't sustain. And hence why we talk about sustainable everything there. So in any case, overconsumption is largely the thing to be considered when you're thinking about why these problems are happening. Emily, I know we've been following this whale. Did we want to dive all the way down to the bottom to the sand? Do we want to try to figure that out?
I guess. We can keep on talking about humpback whales. I have so many things that I can keep on
going
saying
about humpback
them.
whales. Yeah, if you want.
I feel like
awesome.
we talked.
We should also
about
mention that maybe we should name these humpback whales George and Gracie, just because yes, that is us, the Marine Science Institute in Star Trek 4. That is the Monterey Bay Aquarium. So yes.
Yeah. No, we don't have to keep on talking about humpback whales. They are my favorite whales, though. Hands down, they're the first whale that I ever saw as a child, and it is an experience that has stuck with me for my entire life. When you were talking about when there was the big movement in the 70s to save the whales, Patrick, a big reason why people decided to save the whales is because of exactly what we are hearing in the game right now.
That's right.
Which is the songs of these whales. People, when we talk about the ocean, and previously when people used to talk about the ocean, they call it this silent world. And in fact, that is completely untrue. It couldn't be farther from the truth. There's so much sound in the ocean, and the ocean and water is so important as a vector for sound for these animals. And humpback whales will sing these unique songs year after year. And we don't always know why they're singing songs. Sometimes we think it's to show off to females, since the males are doing it more often than the females do, but females still sing. And one of the most incredible things, I think, I'm going to speak for both of us right now, Patrick, but one of the most incredible things I think that we had a chance to experience was last year, in November. So when we were talking about the humpback whales here before, most of them are here in the summertime, but there is a small population of humpback whales that has basically established itself in the Monterey Bay. They just stay here all year round. So we do get to see humpback whales all year round nowadays, which is amazing. And it just goes to show the power that people have in restoring ecosystems when you have a national marine sanctuary like this. But because these whales are here in November and December, when they would normally be down in their mating grounds, which is when you hear them singing the most. Our colleagues over at MBARI, the Monterey Bay Aquarium Research Institute, have a hydrophone at the bottom of the seafloor in the Monterey Canyon, and they're listening to it all the time. They're able to try and figure out, what's making which noises and tell who's in the bay at the moment. They can hear, like sperm whale clicks as they're diving down into the deep sea hunting for prey. You can hear boats as they're passing overhead, and it's a hydrophone that you can go and listen to right now on their website. But all of a sudden last year in November, you could tune into the hydrophone and you could listen to the humpback whales singing to each other.
Yeah.
And
it was ridiculous.
I mean, I openly wept when I heard it.
That was something special.
It was absolutely something special. And it would be one of those where, like, you could kind of hear it during the day. But there was one night where it was like 2 a.m. I couldn't sleep. And so, just for giggles, I turned on the hydrophone on MBARI's website. And I mean, it was like they were in the room with me. They were just, they must have been singing right above where the hydrophone was, a chorus of 5 or 6 humpback whales just all singing together. And yeah, it was the coolest thing to know that, a couple of miles just beyond my door, there were some of the largest animals to ever live on our planet just hanging out in the ocean and singing. Yeah.
Singing away. Have
Just
you
singing away.
ever heard of the wingman hypothesis, Emily?
I have, but why don't you tell people about the wingman hypothesis, Pat?
So the wingman hypothesis of whale song is, as you were mentioning, Emily, the whales sing a whole lot. And it's the males that are singing, but the females don't always seem to be necessarily attracted to the song itself. And so there's a hypothesis out there that some of the singing out there is whales going, "Hey bros," and basically trying to recruit friends of theirs, male friends of theirs, to go see about cruising around looking for a date there.
Yeah.
So the wingman hypothesis is something that I always found rather fascinating. It kind of puts a different spin on, the majesty and beauty of the whales singing. It would be considering how cultural the exchange seems to be, how whales seem to mimic each other, and how there are certain trends and memes of songs that end up picking up viewing whale song as sort of a TikTok dance challenge, trying to impress potential mates, is certainly a way of looking at it that kind of grounds me in a place of thinking that maybe I'm not as unmajestic as a whale, or maybe whales are not, or whales are maybe more are a little bit more relatable than we make them out to be, and I just appreciate that. Obviously put whales on whatever pedestal it is that you need, just like that shark sculpture is on its pedestal. Put whales wherever you need them. But if you ever are feeling like, well, I'm not as majestic as a whale, if you just consider all the whales out there singing, they're all just trying to figure out what the renegade dance equivalent is to them for that year, and they're all practicing in front of their mirror, just trying to recruit a friend to appear in their crossover. Just kind of helps me feel a little bit better about what I'm doing.
Yeah, exactly. Pat, I mean, I can keep on talking about humpback whales. We can talk about rorqual pleats. We can talk about their fluke prints and how you can tell them apart from each other. But I do think that we should dive down into the deep.
We should dive down all the way down.
There.
And some folks are mentioning that this gives them the heebie-jeebies to do. Certainly the lack of knowledge of what lies beneath you is certainly a part of. Your lights just turned on. We're nearing
it's
the bottom.
Pretty dark.
Here we go.
Yeah.
And there's the rock. Cool.
Spoopy.
Awesome. Yeah, lots of really great discussion happening over on YouTube and over on Twitch. Thanks everybody for your questions.
Yes. Real quick, in case folks don't know about it yet, over on Twitch, it is September.
That's right.
Officially as of yesterday. Which means that you can subscribe to our channel for less than what it would normally cost, but we still get the same amount of money from Twitch in support. So you can help support us and save money, and it's a great thing. All those subscriptions go straight to helping the aquarium right now while we are closed. All of the subs, all the bits over there. And we really appreciate that. So it is right now on Twitch, like in my face, there's a big banner. It's like September is here. So I was like, okay, I'll tell them about it, Twitch. Okay. But Pat, let's see what this portal has in store for us here. Let's see who it is.
Who do we got?
It's coming.
Thresher sharks! Thresher sharks!
Thresher sharks! Oh no, they swam up and away very quickly.
Emily, thresher sharks!
Oh, they're gonna go so fast. They're gonna go so fast away from me. Oh no, come back, little threshers. Come back, buddies. I just want to show them your little cute faces.
That's super cool. I love
back.
thresher sharks. We also have thresher sharks here in the Monterey Bay, everybody. So thresher, oh, look at that. That's a good looking thresher shark. They can have a tail, I believe, nearly 10 feet long, and they use it as a whip to knock over bait fish out there. And if you head over to our Twitter, you can see when we were talking to our shark friends, Jada and Amani yesterday, you'll see that thresher sharks, I don't know, Emily, if you'll be able to get in front of it. It looks rather daunting, but thresher sharks have a look on their face where they're always just very, very surprised at what has just been said to them. Like they're only just now opening up the news every single second of their lives. They've got huge eyes on them. And if you head over to our Twitter, you'll see Jada and Amani doing their best thresher shark impression, and certainly that would be a challenge for all of you folks out there. Tweet us your thresher shark face impressions. It's pretty funny stuff. Yeah. Oh, we love thresher sharks. We usually find thresher sharks out here along the shale reef area, along Del Monte Beach. And that's actually an animal that we've wanted to have on display at the aquarium, but they are very, very sensitive animals. They don't do very well being handled, and so that's why you'll usually never see one in a zoo or aquarium, because they're such sensitive organisms out there. And sometimes you'll even see the real jerks of the area, the sea lions, eating a thresher shark, which we saw once off of the back deck of the aquarium.
Yeah.
Ooh, and we got ourselves a little ammonite friend. Nice.
I'm sorry I couldn't swim fast enough to get to that thresher shark face there before.
No worries.
Thought
threshers look eternally surprised. No, exactly. Just like, wait, how long is my tail? Whoa. That's a long tail. Yeah, thresher sharks. And, you know, the thing about thresher sharks, Emily, I don't know, it's a lot of, you know, there can be a lot of envy in the ocean world of just like, oh, you have the really cool animals near you. And I definitely got to say, as a resident of the Monterey Bay, I've just come to learn that there are basically so many organisms that you used to think that you would have to go halfway across the world to go and see, like ocean sunfish and thresher sharks and leatherback sea turtles, humpback whales, blue whales. But they all come here to the Monterey Bay. They're all migrating over here over time. And so recently, people have seen lots of leatherback turtles here in the Monterey Bay. People have seen thresher sharks out here, and people have also seen a lot of molas. And you know, you can travel over to the tropical areas, over off of Bali or somewhere else to go diving with these organisms. But is that a sea?
It's a sea pig. Oh my god! And there's a Dumbo octopus.
There's a flapjack octopus.
There's a flapjack.
Oh, hold on. Okay, so anyway, lots of really cool critters come to the Monterey Bay as well. And hello, sea pig.
Hi, buddy.
Yes. A sea pig is a sea cucumber that we have out here in the deep sea of the Monterey Submarine Canyon. It is absolutely adorable. And someone was asking in the chat if we've ever seen deep sea organisms face to face before. Emily, you've seen a sea pig in person at the aquarium, correct?
I have. You have too. And it was one of the most exciting days when Matt took us behind the scenes to see some of the sea pigs that had been collected with our friends over at Mbari. And they are so cute. They are so cute, Patrick.
Absolutely adorable. Absolutely.
Can
we? Sorry, flapjack octopus is over there, or it could be a Dumbo octopus. I don't know yet. But this is amazing. This is basically the Monterey Submarine Canyon. This is so cool.
Oh my gosh! Look at it go! Look at it go on its teeny little feet.
I'm just a seafloor Roomba. I'm just cleaning up the sediment. Ooh.
So just to kind of explain to people what a sea pig is. This is a sea cucumber.
Yes.
So these are deep sea cucumbers. So sea cucumbers are going to be, just like the sea cucumbers that we have up here on land. They have the tube feet. They're related to sea stars, sea urchins, sand dollars, and the like. And sorry, I need to swim over by it. I know you don't want me near you, buddy, but I just need to see you. You're so cute. I'm gonna do a little flip. But they have these like semi-transparent bodies. Oh no, I lost you. There you are. And they just crawl along the seafloor, hoping to come across some detritus to chow down on. And we've known about them for close to like, I want to say it's been like 150 years. Because scientists used to do trawls from boats along the seafloor, pull them up and see what was inside. And most stuff in the deep sea got destroyed because their bodies are very fragile, very gelatinous, but these sea pigs were hardy enough that they survived a lot of those trawls. So, back in the 1800s, they would pull these nets up and just find a whole bunch of these adorable little sea pigs inside there. But yeah, Patrick, you kind of nailed it. The Roombas of the sea, these adorable little transparent Roombas of the sea. And they've got little like ears on top and everything too. And yeah.
Yeah, they're great. Yeah, and some folks out there were thinking that maybe they were worms or other things. No, they're an echinoderm, just like you were mentioning there. They're a type of translucent sea cucumber, and they walk around there on that seafloor. Really, really cool stuff.
The little antennae too. Just to point that out, those little antennae are just modified tube feet too. They aren't any other structure on it.
Indeed. Let's go look at our sea rate octopus friend.
Yay! I'm coming, little octopus.
Let's go see who we've got. So we'll see if we've got a Opisthotuthis, which would be a flapjack octopus, or a Grimpateuthis, which would be a Dumbo octopus. Getting up closer here. I think we've got an Opisthotuthis, Emily.
Yeah.
Yep.
I agree.
Yep.
Yeah, this is definitely.
So that is going to be a flapjack octopus, and we had a researcher here in the Bay, Stephanie Bush, back in the day, that was looking into seeing whether or not we had Opisthotuthis adorabilis, which would be the our local species of flapjack octopus. They're a sea rate octopus, meaning that they don't have the suction cups in the same way as like a giant Pacific octopus has. You can see that they've got those little flappy fins there on the back of their mantle. That is a key difference between an in-sea rate octopus and a sea rate octopus. One of the ways you can tell the difference of species is that they've got little, they've got chitinous structures there underneath those little flappers that allow you to tell the difference, kind of an internal shell, as it were, allowing researchers to tell the difference between the different species. And you can see they've got the little skirt there between the arms as well. Flapjack octopuses, absolutely adorable, adorabilis, as it were. And there's actually a band out here in the Monterey Bay, a depth band, where you can see these animals very, very frequently. So they're not rare per se, but they are confined to very specific zonations out there in the deep. So look up Adorabilis opisthotuthis, and just a glorious, glorious flapjack octopus right there. Oh, that's so cool.
Look at it go. Okay, let's see if there are any other buddies on the seafloor down here.
Yeah, let's keep looking.
We got our horseshoe crabs again.
Horseshoe crabs, okay.
Classic. Next to another Adorabilis.
A teenier, more adorable Adorabilis, if that's even possible.
Ooh, another little crabby friend who does not appreciate me following it.
Our little crab friend. Well, as we've talked about before, crabs have two modes. I'm chilling and I'm krillin'. I'm running away. It's either I'm a crab or I'm a crab.
I am a crab.
How crabs behave in the wild.
There are doorbells there. Oh, they just like keep on popping up out of nowhere here.
Is there another portal, I wonder?
I wonder. We found our little ammonite.
Oh, how is a Dumbo different from a flapjack octopus? There's a few structural differences between a flapjack and a Dumbo octopus, enough that they're separate genuses. So you've got Grimpateuthis, which is the Dumbo octopus, and then Opisthotuthis is the flapjack octopus. There's a few different, like if you look at them, generally speaking, the Dumbo octopus is a little bit bigger, kind of more gray, bigger fins on it for the species that I've seen locally.
Whoa. Oh, that's just a rock.
If a flapjack octopus eats breakfast, doesn't that just make it a pancake octopus? That's whether or not it has syrup next to it is how you can really tell. Oh, a flapjack is a pancake and Dumbo is an elephant. That's the difference. I'm sorry, Lophius Dragon. You're right. I overcomplicated things. Absolutely correct.
You just may pulled that one out of thin air.
Yeah. So is that little guy related to giant squid? No, not closely related to giant squid. No, giant squid are a squid, obviously, from the name there. But C-rate octopuses are in the octopus group, and a squid is going to be very, very separate there, but similar in that they live in deep sea environments. But the similarities kind of end there. The flapjack octopus living on the seafloor, so being a benthic organism, and giant squid being a midwater organism, not on the ground there. Well, this is super cool. Exploring the deep sea part is probably the coolest part of any ABZÜ run through that we've done, Emily.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Pat, I think that might have been the only portal down here.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, I don't see anything else. We've kind of done a big loop here.
Okay. Colossal squid really do exist. Yes, absolutely. In fact, they are commonly found in the Patagonian toothfish fishery, which is in the Ross Sea down off of Antarctica. Is that a wahoo?
It looked like a wahoo.
I believe that was a wahoo. But in the Ross Sea down off of Antarctica near New Zealand is where you'll find colossal squid. Yeah, and think about this. Some folks think that giant squid and colossal squid grow to be as big as they are, several hundred pounds, tens of feet long, in about a year and a half. Cephalopods are very short-lived, and so it's thought that those giant versions might also live a very short amount of time. And they are a delicious meal for... Who is that? Is that a basking shark?
Patrick, we found it. Patrick.
We found the basking shark.
Patrick.
Yes. Oh, the most glorious shark. Look at it go. Look at the basking shark. Oh, we started off the stream wondering if we were going to get to see it. Careful, Emily. Don't get swallowed up like a plankton. Oh, the second largest fish in the entire ocean, the basking shark. And I gotta say, as far as like an impressive filter feeding shark, it beats the whale shark in my estimation. Look at that face. Look at that pasta strainer there on the front of it. Emily, your piloting is
I'm getting better
amazing.
At this.
Look at that, looking down into that funnel of a face there for the basking shark. Amazing stuff. Oh, that's so cool. So basking sharks are an example of a shark that we used to have in many, in abundance here off of the coast. But a lot of messed up stuff happened here along the coast. I know we've been talking about some bummer stories in this particular stream in terms of conservation, but people used to put huge battering rams on the front of their ships to run over basking sharks to just get them out of the way. I guess they were a nuisance to people. But basking sharks live a very long time and grow very slowly. And so we're still waiting for these behemoths to really recover here along the coast. They used to be in the Monterey Bay all the time. And a couple of years ago, I remember there were sightings of about 50 basking sharks off of Big Sur. And boy, would I love to see, Emily, would I love to see basking sharks out here in the Monterey Bay again in those huge numbers. But look at that glorious beast.
Hi. Hello. How are you, Patrick? Waiter, there's a swimmer in my soup. Make sure you get my good side. Shark.
Wow. That is so cool. That is the greatest thing.
Hi.
So if a thresher shark is always surprised at what has just been told, a basking shark is just every fact you tell is jaw-dropping. Did you know that you don't have any bones in your body?
What? No way.
Oh my goodness gracious. So you can see down inside its mouth there. The reason it's swimming with its mouth open like that is that they're filter feeders. And so water is going through those gill arches, and what's known as gill rakers are gathering up plankton. So every so often this basking shark would close its mouth and swallow the food that is caught there in that giant pasta strainer for a face that it has there. Amazing mouthwash is pointing out that, yeah, it probably gets a lot of comments at dinner that it's always eating with its mouth open. Oh, this is so cool. Man, look at it go. That's actually someplace that I'd really love to go diving for photography, Emily. I think it's off of Scotland that there are commonly basking sharks out there in that water. And I've seen some really beautiful photographs coming out of that zone with basking sharks in off of the British Isles, I believe, is where it's pretty common to see them there still.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. I mean, maybe we'll take the show on the road sometime. You can go look for basking sharks, and I'll just go hang out with Cassie. Yeah.
Chat and Emily, do you know why you'll never see a basking shark on Instagram?
Because #allfilter? I don't know.
Because it's all filter all the time. They can't even say #nofilter ever.
Yeah.
That's why. Or no. Okay, sorry. No, the better joke is why did basking sharks leave Instagram? Because everyone kept saying no filter, and that was insulting.
Oh, it felt called out.
Felt called out. Oh my goodness.
This is so fun. This is so cool. We found it.
We found
Mission
it. Boy,
accomplished.
That was
took us 2 hours. But we found it.
Well, isn't that pretty classic for our streams there?
It's true. It's true.
Wow. Oh, favorite filter feeding shark, basking, whale, or megamouth, Emily? I'm 100% basking.
Yeah, you're going. I think I'm going whale simply because of the seeing them swam with them in real life thing. So they're they're top top in my heart from you, but if I ever got to see a basking shark in real life, I could be swayed.
If I know that the new Batman trailer came out. If this shark was in it, I would suggest that it would be Baskin Robbins. That was very convoluted. I'm sorry. I'm also aware of Carol Baskins being on Dancing with the Stars, so Swimming with the Sharks. We've already got the Baskin there.
Oh gosh.
Those are topical puns.
Yeah.
Yeah, those work. Wow. I could just watch this all day, honestly.
Yeah,
because
seriously.
it feels like swimming with a real basking shark. Okay, the megamouth does have bioluminescent gums. Yes. I've heard of that.
That's
for
true.
Sure. Yeah, if you've ever seen, there's a really great video of someone swimming in Indonesia who's filming something and then looks over and then there's a megamouth shark right next to it just staring at him. Yeah, whenever that happens, it always feels like the animal's just like, whoa, wait, what kind of camera is that? I was kind of looking into something, sort of like, I just want to document some of these ocean things I'm seeing. As a megamouth shark, not very many people have seen me or the things that I see, and I just really figured I could document that and really get my name out there. And you seem really scared. Okay, bye.
Oh, let's go for we got the thresher shark face in there for
yes,
about half a
Very
second.
the thresher shark coming by, just being like, "You were holding on to the shark?
I don't think that.
Look how big its face is."
Can I
and
ride
then
one?
You're like,
I can ride one.
yes.
They're zoomy.
Oh man, Emily, if you start doing some tricks, this would be an article for Thresher magazine.
Okay, if I ride one, then we can see its
Look
face.
at its face. Oh, that's so great. Oh, I wish Amani and Jada were here now
I know.
to see.
We'll have to have them on sometime to react to the sharks.
Oh boy, there's a little thresher shark. Look at my big tail. Don't tell me anything that's surprising because you won't be able to tell if I'm actually surprised.
What if it's the most stoic shark in the ocean? Like nothing actually surprises it. Just like, I know my face says one thing, but like totally like, yeah, not even phased, bro. Thresher sharks are so cool. And by the way, this is not something that you'd really be able to do. Thresher sharks are incredibly sensitive sharks, as we were mentioning before. And their skin is very, very sensitive as well. So part of the reason why you won't see one in a zoo or aquarium. This is so cool. Talk about, if you were riding on the back of the thresher shark, Emily, that would be quite the fish tale to tell.
Well, Patrick, whale Patrick, that might have been a good tail end of the stream right there. It's been
well, we should just bask in the glory of how good we are at video game streaming. After beginning the stream 2 hours ago on basically every possible bummer of a story possible, I believe we started with the social political implications of bycatch and destruction of the Gulf of California. We talked a little bit about shark finning and coral bleaching, but I think we brought it back to a fun place here.
I think we did. Yeah.
Oh, whoa, hold on. This is a comment. Dirty Bim Bam mentions, "Hey, Emily and Pat, I've been really enjoying your content over the course of quarantine. It partially helped inspire me to transfer schools and pursue marine bio. So thank you for being so entertaining."
Cool.
What? One of us. One of us. That's awesome,
amazing.
Dirty Bim Bam. Thanks for sharing. Oh, that's so cool.
Good luck. We hope that it's an amazing time.
Yeah, absolutely. As we mentioned, if you aim for the moon jelly, you'll land amongst the sea stars. Plenty of work out there left for all of us to work on in the ocean, certainly for generations and generations to come, to rebalance out our relationship with our ocean neighbors and our shared ocean resources there. So, That's so awesome. Congrats
so
on the
cool.
choice there.
Pat, we're making a difference. With our puns and our bad jokes, we're making a difference.
We're certainly causing some people to have some deference to, I don't know about making a difference, but yeah, I mean, thank you. That's awesome. Oh, this is so cool. This is just so awesome to be able to spend time with all of you folks out there hanging out with this beautiful game and nerding out over the ocean.
Yeah.
This is so great. Emily, how you feeling?
Feeling good, Pat.
Just basking there. Hello!
Ah! Good luck with your studies! Look at it go.
It's just like, you know, when a sunfish goes by, it's just ho ho. That's like all it can say.
Yeah.
So,
So
a basking shark, I guess, is part of the opera. It's got to be like ho ho. This is awesome. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. Are we signing off, Emily? What are we doing?
I was gonna head back up to the surface here.
All right.
And we can do our kind of wrap up up there. I think this is a good place for us to stop. Yeah?
Oh, yeah. Oh, Matt Lowell, Two Dads, is saying, I went to school with Steven Hillenberg's son. Oh, that's awesome. And spent a decent amount of time talking about marine bio with him. Glad to find your channel. Keep pursuing this passion. Hey, thanks so much for being there. Over on YouTube, thanks so much for your streams and content. It's been exciting, fun to watch these streams the last few months, learn more about the ocean. Thanks for being a part of the quarantine content team. We really appreciate you folks tuning in. This is good stuff.
Yeah, maybe we'll end on our shark over here.
Okay.
Feels appropriate.
Yeah. Oh, should we do a little bit of meditation and see who we got?
Yeah. See if
All right.
there might be anything that we didn't spot in here. There's a very good chance. I spent a very long time talking about humpback whales, so
Yes.
like this little 5-line snapper. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, look,
snapper.
the fish. Okay, this is 5-line snapper throwing a little bit of shade at just like
I've been here the whole time. Look how many lines I have. Count them. 1, 2, 3. Where are you going?
wait, don't come back. Oh, a whole school. He's got a whole school of his friends to back him up.
Oh,
now.
snap. Oh, snap. Oh, snapper. Okay. All right.
The game is really snapping back here.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
yeah.
Oh, you and your charismatic megafauna? Well.
Yeah. Finally snapped. You call yourselves biologists. You focus on the whales this whole time. Good job. Oh, man. Okay. Humpback whale.
Humpback
Nice.
whale.
Yay.
There we go, friend. Ugh. You majestic animal.
Very cool.
Let's see who's over here. Another snapper. It's really calling out the snappers for a snowpat.
Here too. This is erasure of the highest degree.
I have 1 line, unlike that 5-lined guy over there.
Oh, they all think that their streams are so sophisticated. Well, they forgot to fish.
That's funny. Okay. Moving on from the snapper. Who else we got?
We do have the giant trevally.
Giant trevally. Nice. Are those are striped marlin, right?
We're gonna find out, hopefully. I don't know. I keep on pressing it just really wants to focus on the giant trevally.
We get it.
We get it. There's a very it's gonna show me each one of them, I guess, or not. Okay, we're going back to the snapper. Yeah,
That's
it's my
me.
time to shine. That's right. Oh goodness.
Oh, come on, snapper. Come on. Okay, we get it.
This is just getting ridiculous here. Here we go. Striped marlin.
Striped marlin. Okay, nailed it. Yeah, Liminal Haunt over on YouTube is mentioning. Anyone tuning in just now will think that we've snapped, Emily. Yes.
It's true. I think we snapped. We snapped a long time ago, but we hadn't snapped today.
Yeah.
So.
Well, someone's got to foot the bill, fish. So for this stream.
We're just really gonna Marlene into this at the end.
Oh, yoy, yoy. Oh my. Oh, you're so pretty. Oh, you are a gorgeous, gorgeous fish. Wow.
Back to the snaps.
I've got stripes too.
We get it, Snapper. We get it. You've got 5 of them. Count them. Okay. We're out of control. Definitely. Yeah. This has been two and a quarter hours here.
All right.
Unless we can get to threshers and basking sharks, we may.
I don't think it's going to show us the thresher or the basking shark in this meditation here.
It's all good.
Oop.
That's right, Trooper.
I know.
She's saying, wrap it up.
Wrap it up, Mom. All right. Well, we will go back to our little shark spot here, and this can be where we pick up next time with our Dorado swimming above us there, just hanging out here in this awesome open area with humpback whales and basking sharks and thresher sharks and giant trevally and striped marlin and of course the snappers too, can't forget them. But for now I think that we'll say goodbye. Don't know when we're going to be streaming ABZû again next, but we do know that our next gaming stream is going to be happening on Friday. So in case you happen to be around on Friday afternoon, or at least afternoon our time, Pacific time, over here at 3 p.m. Pacific time, Patrick and I are going to be hopping into Animal Crossing. It's been a while. It's been like a month since we not a month, like 2.5 weeks since we played.
Feels like a month.
Feels like a lot longer since we played Animal Crossing. But we're gonna hop in there and check out and see what new animals there are for the month of September. So we're gonna go and hang out for a little while in Animal Crossing on Friday afternoon in case you're around. And then next week across our social channels, we're going to have a lot of cool stuff happening. So it is Elasmo week next week.
That's right.
It is also, in case anyone is a fan of the Cute and Fuzzy, if you go to our sea otter webcam, MontereyBayAquarium.org, and head on over to our animal cams. Our sea otter webcam right now is featuring 2 of our resident sea otters here at the aquarium, Kit and Selka, and each one of them right now is acting as a surrogate mom for they're fostering orphaned sea otter pups. So they are taking care of them inside of our sea otter exhibit right now as we speak. You can go and check that out on our webcam. Next week, we are going to have a special guest on not one of our gaming streams, but just on a cam stream next week with Pat and I. Just on a cam stream. What am I saying? It's going to be amazing. We're going to have a couple of folks from our sea otter program on talking about our sea otter program, the rescue and rehabilitation that we do with wild sea otters. And that's going to be a good time. There's other stuff happening next week, and I can't remember what, so I'm being a bad plug person right now.
People
Pat.
are just going to have to subscribe and follow and figure it out that way. You know what? We don't got to do all the work over here. We're doing all the work already. Everyone can just subscribe and follow and smash those like buttons, ring those bells, and they'll find out what we're doing by following us. Come on, people.
Yeah, exactly.
Give us a break.
If you happen to be in a spot where you can subscribe to our channels, all of that money goes directly to help the aquarium right now while we are closed. And all of those subs, all the bits, everything like that goes to help take care of those animals and help support programs like that sea otter program doing otter rescue and rehabilitation. So we always like to say thank you so much to everyone who is helping to support us. While Pat and I do these streams, we're so thankful to all of you and our communities here on Twitch and on YouTube for making this a possibility and for helping the aquarium stay afloat right now while we're closed. Y'all are amazing, and we thank you so much there. Fiore over on Twitch, will Julie ever be on a stream? Pat, I think that would be fun to have Julie on one of these gaming streams.
We should,
with us.
We need to find where the most likely mola is going to be. I guess we know that there's molas in this game, but also we know that there are molas in Animal Crossing, so we could ask her.
It's true.
Molas are her favorite.
Yeah, she is a busy lady. I've been fortunate enough to do an interview with her before and nerded out completely with her, and it was a lot of fun. So I know Pat and Julie get along swimmingly as well, so maybe we can have her on stream sometime. That would be a lot of fun.
Let's see about that.
Of course, you can always subscribe to our Twitch channel. If you have an Amazon Prime account, you can subscribe for absolutely free using your Twitch Prime account over on Twitch. I forgot to mention that before. And in case you are a fan of the Cute and Fuzzy and watching those sea otters, you too would like to have a fuzzy companion, you can always head on over to shop.montereybayaquarium.org and get yourself a plush sea otter or a plush shark or I think we actually have plush humpback whales over there too. We do not have plush 5-striped snapper though, so we'll get on that representing those snapper there. That would be fun. And then I think those are all of the end of the stream things that we normally talk about, right, Pat? I can see you deep in thought right now over our call. Okay.
Sorry, you're gonna have to prompt me one more time of where I need to pick up right there.
I was just making sure that I covered everything, buddy. It's good.
No, I'm pretty sure we covered everything. Yeah, no,
okay.
we've got all the links going in the chat right now for the merch, for the store, for the donate. You can subscribe over on Twitch. You can subscribe on YouTube. Tell your friends to subscribe. If you don't have financial means to help the aquarium right now, that's totally fine. It's a tough time out there for everybody. So just tell your friends to subscribe. We really, really appreciate you folks tuning in for something like this because, before quarantine years ago, who would have thought that we would be able to find such an amazing community with all of yourselves out there wanting to just watch us play video games poorly and with tons of anecdotes about the animals that we're seeing. So not to say, Emily, that we're playing, that your gameplay was not extraordinary, because that is what I want to mention, that we're not actively trying to beat the game is what I mean. Can we get in the chat, please, a whole bunch of W's or GG's, whatever your heart desires there. I know PogChamp is another thing, but I'm way too old to be saying anything like that. But whatever you need there in the chat for Emily. Congratulations, Emily, on yet another beautifully done setup and stream there for these channels. So thank you.
We did it with only a little bit of trouble this time.
Only a little bit.
But
we figured it out. So thanks everybody for your love for Emily, for setting everything up over on that side. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the great discussion today about using our ocean resources sustainably and responsibly over on YouTube and on Twitch as well. In the chat, you are all amazing. And thanks for tuning in to yet another Monterey Bay Aquarium Goes Gamin'. Since I seem to be in the concluding wrap-up portion, I'll say what Emily usually says, which is remember in this time to be kind to yourself and to others, as we are all going through a very challenging time, and it's just a very wonderful thing to be able to spend time with all of you, learning about the ocean, sharing information about the ocean, and enjoying a little bit of a respite from the difficulties that we're all facing. Hope you're all doing well. Hope that you all are staying safe out there, and we hope to see you again soon here at the Monterey Bay Aquarium with all the great things that Emily was mentioning happening this week and the next.
Thanks, everyone.
All right, thanks.
Bye.
Bye.